right, what's going on, everybody? This is episode 54 of the Sean Lowery Show, and I'm so pumped. I got my first hilarious comedian, Brent Pella, on the podcast. What's up, dude?
What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm doing great. I love that I can have a comedian on the podcast. By the way, his videos have I don't know. It seems like 1 trillion views to me on on YouTube. And recently that Joe Rogan clip went viral. And it was so funny. It's so funny. Like a couple of my cousins and friends sent me that because I need a male role model like everyone else. So I love Joe Rogan. I love Joe Rogan as well. And I was like, I'm having that guy on my podcast. And they're like, no way. That's fucking awesome.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, dude. So it's so cool. And what's cool about having a comedian on the podcast is now I can say whatever I want. And it can be
no filter.
Yeah, you could be like, it's just a comedy podcast.
Right. So, right. That's the excuse. Yeah.
No, actually, if I got canceled, that'd be a huge step up for me. So,
dude, same. I'm trying to do everything in my power to get canceled.
So it's not as easy as they make it look.
It's not easy, but then people will know about me, you know?
Right. Yeah, getting canceled is definitely good for your brand, you know?
Right.
But dude, I fucking love your comedy sketches.
Oh, thanks.
I like comedy. I'm an entrepreneur and business type of guy. And my podcast is kind of developing, and I started it off as a business thing. I have 15 employees. I'm a business guy, but as the podcast is developing, I'm just trying to have on cool ass guests. I basically am trying to be Joe Rogan. Let's be honest.
Of course, we all are.
Yeah, aren't we all? We all are, and he covers everything.
100%. Every time somebody says hey man, what are you doing today? I'm just what is Joe Rogan doing today? I'm doing whatever he would be doing today.
Yeah, and the type of all right. So I like stand up. I like funny. I like all funny shit. But before I even knew who you were, or I've always said, my favorite type of comedy is the sketches. The type of sketches that you do, where it's one guy playing all the roles, and it's the YouTube comedy. Is there a name for that type of comedy?
I don't know. Stupid. I love doing that. You know, I started doing the sketches where I play all the characters.
I love that. Because, it's so funny.
Yeah, it's fun, and I started doing it because I didn't want to have to rely on scheduling with other people, and I used to have people dropping out or bailing last minute, or being a part of it and not doing as well as I thought that they would have done. So I just started to think if this is just a couple of bros hanging out in a scene, I could just play all the bros. So those are definitely super fun. And then the impressions too are a different thing. But
yeah. The impressions are a little different thing, and I love those too. But there's just something about, and I bet you a lot of comedians started doing sketches like that because it's easier. You play all the roles. You don't. You're like you said, scheduling and everything like that.
Yeah.
That aside, I just think it's so funny. It's something about the person talking to themselves. I love that type of fucking humor. It's so funny.
It's kind of absurd. I like it too.
Yeah. So I saw some of the people that before I knew you. So Steve Emerson, I saw you do some skits with him. Is he your boy? Is he your friend?
He is. Yeah. He's actually my favorite dude that makes stuff online. That guy is so cool. He's so nice. Yeah. We've been rocking together for a year and a half. And we just met on Instagram. We started following each other and sent a couple messages yo, dude, this was so funny. Hey, man, that was really good. And then we had a couple of writing sessions, and it's cool when you meet someone and they're nicer than you had hoped they would be. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So for me, so far, you're a huge dick, and I wasn't just expecting.
I know it's unfortunate. Yeah. It's unfortunate. But everyone else is super nice. But it's you never know what to think of these people who live their lives online. You know, it could all just be a facade. But I've had the chance to meet a couple guys, and luckily I've found out that they're cool and really easy to work with. And he's definitely one of them.
Yeah, that's why this is cool for me. And then so the other guys I have Trevor Wallace. You know him?
Yeah.
He does the same type of comedy. That JP guy.
Dude, I love JP.
He's so fucking funny, man.
Dude, that guy, I met JP randomly during a stand-up show in San Diego, and I was opening for him.
You're opening for him?
Yeah. It was the comedy club needed an opener last minute, so they called me, and I said yes. And he is the nicest guy you'll
I
ever.
mean,
And he's so
he
funny.
kind of seems like that, to be
He
honest.
seems like that, yeah. But it's
So,
like
soft spoken and like I
yeah,
can see it.
yeah. But sometimes the nice guys, like you'll see famous actors that are super nice, and then they're complete dicks in person.
Like Ellen DeGeneres.
Right? Oh yeah, of course. And JP was like so nice. And so I actually flew out to Austin where he lives back in February, and I only had a day because then I had to go to Dallas the next day. And we shot off 5 videos in one day. So it's like it's really cool to meet people like that are just down to collab and make fun stuff.
You must have had like planned out the sketches before.
Yeah, dude,
right?
we planned it for like 2 months. We were writing stuff, sending emails back and forth and voice memos. It's funny because JP and we send each other voice memos all the time. We don't even text, and every one of his memos always ends with like some type of insult, like some type of like really dark, mean insult, which is hilarious because obviously he doesn't mean it. But you know, at the end, it's just like, yeah, man, I'm really excited to see you. I hope you catch COVID, and I hope the death is quick and painful. Okay, talk soon.
I love that shit. I love that. But one other guy I want to know if you know, because he's in the same world. I don't even know his name, but his YouTube channel is called You Betcha.
Miles,
is that that's his name, dude? I love that
same
guy.
thing, bro. I met Miles online too. We just started messaging each other, and he said he was coming to LA and he wanted to do some videos. And so we knocked out 2 when he was in town. Bro, that guy lives in Fargo.
Does he?
Is that North Dakota?
North Dakota, yeah.
North Dakota. And he talks like that too. And he had his girlfriend with him, and they were all talking like kind of like this Canadian kind of accent.
Yeah.
Nicest guy in the world. Again, super nice.
He does a lot of skits about the Midwest and stuff like that.
Dude, he's nailed that niche.
Yeah,
and it's it's cool because I was talking to him, and that's like the new wave of entertainment that we're entering is all these independent people that can just do whatever they want from anywhere. Like JP lives in Austin, Miles lives in Fargo. Stevie was talking about moving to Vegas a few weeks ago. And it's like, you don't need to be in LA or New York anymore to have a successful career. So
dude, those people I just named like are the people that I started like following on YouTube specifically, I guess. And like, it's all kind of the same. Like they do play all the characters. And like I said, I love that comedy. Yeah. But you live in LA, right?
Yeah. I'm out in Venice.
Did you move there?
I got here. Yeah, I went to school at UC Santa Cruz for 2 years, and then UC Santa Barbara for my last 2 years, and then LA after that.
Okay.
So I've been in LA for about 7 years.
Okay. So when you move to LA, do you become like a pretentious asshole right away, or does it take like a couple days?
It takes a couple of juice cleanses. It takes about 2 juice cleanses and a few cold brews, and then you start flipping off homeless people.
There you go. Yeah, no, dude. LA seems like the spot. Like I live in Charleston, South Carolina now, but like I'm from Philly. Like,
oh, cool.
Yeah, I have no home. I'm just an American.
Well, that's dope. Because your world is the entrepreneur world, right?
Definitely.
It's not necessarily an entertainment like where you need to be close to where commercials are being shot or whatever.
Right. And like you said, that's really changing, right? Like, you don't have to be in a certain location, or do you? Do you still have to be in LA to be like a huge star?
I think it depends. Like if you want to be auditioning for TV and movies, then yeah, you got to be in LA. If you want to do theater, you got to be in New York, Chicago. But a lot of people that are coming up, especially like people on YouTube or social media, they see those things as dying arts, right? So they see YouTube as the next, Broadway, and they see Instagram as the next, I don't know, stand-up circuit. Like there are people who see all that shit as like archaic and old, and that's fine. I love performing live. I want to perform live for my whole life. So I like LA because I'm trying to work in at the clubs. And I also like acting. So I do want to be auditioning for TV and movies. And I've already kind of built a foundation of like people here that I can work with. But if you start in, San Francisco, Seattle, if you start in any of those cities, at this point with the way the entertainment industry is moving now, I think you can start to build that foundation anywhere. And so you don't need to start in LA or New York like a lot of people have.
So cool. Like imagine being a talented, ambitious actor, entertainer in like 1985, or you need other people's permission to be on a camera.
Yeah.
Like you had to suck Harvey Weinstein's dick, and then you had to like
right.
do all these auditions. But now you can just make a YouTube channel and you can be a huge star. And that's
it.
So cool, man.
Yeah. So like you don't need people to start to hand you opportunities anymore. You can just kind of make your own, which is really cool.
And from an entrepreneur perspective, that's awesome. Like you don't need anyone else's permission to do what you want to do.
Right.
And that's the beauty of the world.
Yeah.
But dude. So comedy, you said you want to be an actor. Like I think like so that you still need to audition and be in movies, right? Unless
I mean the process for that though is also changing, especially with the whole pandemic. They're just going to be making less stuff from now on because it's going to be way more expensive to make stuff with like insurance costs and all that. So when it comes to that type of stuff and breaking into like movies, I want to make my own at some point. So everything I'm doing now, trying to build an audience, is first and foremost because it's fun, but also because I know 5-10 years down the road, once that audience is built in, it's going to be like it's going to be a card to play if I'm trying to get financing for my own bigger projects.
Hell yeah.
So it's just kind of setting the groundwork now. I mean, I would love to never have to audition for anything and just make the stuff that I want to make. But at the same time, you know, if a movie comes up that Seth Rogen is making, of course, I want to audition for that. So,
dude.
It's going to be a weird world to get back to after all this is over. Which is why
I saw you at stand-up dates on your Instagram profile.
Dude, I had a lot.
Postponed.
Yeah, I had a huge tour. It was going to be April, May, June, and July, and even in August. I had my last show just got canceled a couple days ago.
Damn.
For Caroline's in New York.
Are you super bummed?
Yeah, because
comedians, according to everything I know about the way that stand-ups work, is from Joe Rogan.
Yeah,
but, of course. But it's like you need the audience to like practice, right? Like you can't practice. Like you can practice shooting a basketball by yourself, but you can't really practice comedy by yourself, right? Because you need to know what reaction you get on your jokes, kind of, right?
Right. As far as stand-up goes,
Stand-up.
So I actually haven't even written stand-up since March, because like I've shifted once the lockdown happened and my show started getting postponed. I was like, okay, why would I write stand-up when I can't practice it? I have no way of practicing. The Zoom show, there are shows on Zoom, and like that's fine, but it's not for me. I don't feel the connection with the audience on Zoom the same way I did in person. So I shifted my focus entirely from writing for stand-up to writing for digital, and just put all of my energy into digital stuff. My podcast came out in March. It has 16 listeners and my mom. And so
16?
16,
dude,
bro.
You need to give me some advice on how to get a big audience.
And then I've been doing like at least a video a week, but usually 2 videos a week. And in April and May, I was doing like a 30-minute comedy special every Saturday. So I just try to focus all my energy into digital, because like you said, if you're not performing stand-up, they're in front of a live audience, there's no real way to like continue to get better at it.
Dude, like Jimmy Fallon, like he's gone. He recently, I like watching his little jokes in the morning, like on the way to the gym. He recently went back to his set, and there's no audience, and it's fucking awkward because like he'll make a joke, and like the few guys in the band are laughing and clapping, like it's weird. It's weird without an audience.
It's weird. It's different.
Yeah, it's weird without an audience.
Yeah, it's weird.
It really is, and that sounds like such a cool thing to be on stage and have everyone like laughing at your shit. Like, have you had some experiences bombing though?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But you can't like get better at stand-up without doing terribly.
Right. I feel like that's where entrepreneurship and comedy kind of cross. It's like you do something, a big failure, and you gotta you like get over it quickly.
Yeah.
Regroup.
Dude, what was one of your biggest failures?
Dude, like 3 years ago now. I was like $300,000 in the hole, and I had to fire half of my employees, and I didn't have money to like. I would go to the grocery store to get spaghetti, and they'd be like, "Card declined," and I'd be like, "I'll be right back. I gotta go out to the car." Go out to the car with my fiance, and we're like, "All right, yeah, dude." Well, all right, well, we got something in the cabinet. So we had like saltine crackers. Like,
Oh my God.
yeah, I had a huge like cash flow. I spent too much money on Facebook ads as my business was growing.
Oh, okay.
And like I was kept getting a bunch of sales, but I was spending so much on ads that I was losing money. And at the bottom line, I kept losing money. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna keep doing this, and we're getting new customers. And it was it was such a mess. But
That's wild.
it was like a bombing. And it's not the same feeling because you bomb in front of people, but the one people I bombed in front of was my employees. I had to be like, "Hey, you guys did nothing wrong. I'm really sorry, but like, you're all fired. You're all fired. You're all fired." And
damn,
the only reason is because I'm shitty at like running business metrics. So sorry about that. Yeah, dude, it was awkward, but business is booming now. So I learned from it. You learn from it.
Good. Yeah, you do. You do learn from it. Yeah.
Exactly.
My worst experience was on a cruise. It was like 2017. It was hurricane. It was hurricane season, right? And my this owner of a comedy club in Southern California calls me up, and he says, "Hey man, this cruise company is looking for a stand-up comedian because one of their comedians is
got coronavirus
in a hurricane, is stuck in a hurricane. Can you fly out?" And I was like, "Yeah, I can fly out." You know, it paid really well. I was going to be on a cruise for 2 weeks. I was like, "Yeah." And so I fly out, I get on the cruise, and I'm walking around for like 2 days before the show. And then I go in for my tech rehearsals around 4 p.m. on the day of the show. And I go in, it's just me and the tech manager. And we're running through the microphone system and the setup, and I'm getting used to the stage. And he says, "Hey, what do you want for your walk-up music?" And I was like, "Dude, you gotta bring me up to I'm on a boat."
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Dude, 100%. I have to walk on stage to this song. And so I downloaded the song and I sent it to him, and we rehearsed it real quick. And I came out, and I was running up and down the stage like, "I'm on a motherfucking boat, yeah!" And he was laughing, and how I was having a good time. So now I'm pumped, right? And so I go back to my little cabin, and a couple hours later, people start filing in for the show. And I look out from backstage, and I notice that every single person walking into this theater, which, by the way, was a 1,500-seat theater.
Damn.
On a cruise, dude.
Yeah, it's huge.
Cruise, because the cruise is 6,000 people. It's like a floating city. And so the theater was 1,500 people, the most people I've ever performed for in my life.
Damn.
And I noticed that every single person is like wearing suits and ties and like really fancy like dresses. And they're all like 50 and up. No one looks like me. No one's young. And I was like, all right, well, I still think they'll get like my material. Like I was thinking about my material and because at the time, this is 2017, I was doing a lot of college shows. So I had like Tinder jokes and like party jokes and Uber jokes, you know.
Right.
And so I'm thinking, are they even going to connect with my material? And I'm like, all right, it's fine. It'll be fun. And I get introduced by the cruise director. He says, ladies and gentlemen, special guest tonight, all the way from Los Angeles. Please welcome comedian Brent Pella. And everybody claps, and I walk out on stage, and dude, he plays I'm on a boat, and I'm running up and down like, yeah, I'm on a boat. Take a good look at me, because I'm on a fucking boat. Carnival Cruise, or what was it? It was like Celebrity Cruise. How you guys feeling tonight? Bro, when I tell you that audience was silent, dude, when I tell you that they said nothing, I mean nothing. Not a clap, not a wave. No one even blinked, dude. And then this woman in the front row, dressed in her Titanic best, she stood up and she goes, "It's not a boat, it's a ship."
And then how many minutes did you have? Like, was it like 30 minutes?
I was supposed to do 50, and he brought me off at 35 because I was doing so bad. Like, I was worried about the material I was going to do. I didn't even think I was going to lose them before I started the material.
Dude, that's almost like the planner's fault. Like, he knows who you are, he knows who his audience is, and he didn't match it up well, I guess.
Yeah,
whatever.
Dude, I tried to dig myself out of that hole, and I got a couple chuckles, but I mean, they did not connect at all.
Yeah, that's crazy. So like stand up, right? You have your I don't know, tight 50 or whatever it is, right? But you have to make adjustments, right? If no one's laughing.
Yeah.
So and that sounds hard. That sounds hard to do.
It was really hard, especially then, because on the cruise, on cruise shows, at least the one I did, you're not supposed to interact with the audience.
That's so like a rule?
Yeah. They don't want you to mess with the audience at all.
Interesting.
And so this woman who stood up, I couldn't be like, yeah, you're an old bitch. You know what I mean? Or obviously I would not say that, but I couldn't.
That'd be hilarious.
It'd be funny, but I couldn't mess with her and go back and forth to try and bring myself out of it, which is what I would usually do if something goes wrong. So I just had to be like, you're right. When's the last time you guys went to the mall? You know, and it was not good. But and then, dude, I was on the thing with that was I couldn't just leave and go home. I was in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. I was in the Gulf of Mexico, dude.
And you're going to like the same like restaurants as all the people that were there.
So the next day I did not leave my cabin. I had 24 hours. I literally did not step foot outside of my cabin. I was just getting room service the whole time. And then the whole cruise got off and we got a new shipload of people. And so I felt like a new man.
Did you have to perform for the new group?
Yeah, and I did not do the Lonely Island intro. But
did you write some like new material?
I wrote some new material. I wrote some cruise based jokes.
Okay.
And I think what it was like on that cruise, because like the Carnival cruise is like the young party ship.
Okay.
But I was on something called the Celebrity Cruise Line, and that's for people that are a little bit older, like 40s and upward, 40 to 90.
And they're probably not celebrities.
They're not celebrities at all. But I think they were expecting like Seinfeld or something. You know what I mean?
Okay.
They were expecting like some old like
Seinfeld. That's a good
yeah.
Like jokes that they would get.
Yeah.
That's hilarious, dude. I mean, dude, like when you do stand up, like do you have to kind of know your audience, like and I guess if you go to the same clubs you kind of know the audience, but in this case you just
did not know.
Didn't know the audience.
No, not at all.
There's probably one guy that was there was like his parents or something that like thought you were hilarious, but
yeah, there were like there was they have a musical cast. So like they put on musicals every night, like a different show every night. So it's a bunch of theater kids, 20 to 30, and they were there and they loved it. They had a great time. Dude,
I hate musicals.
Do you really?
Like, why don't they just talk? Like they're like they're just singing very basic conversation, and I'm just like,
that's true.
I'm supposed to take this seriously, like. How are you doing today? Like, I'm like, oh my God, like stop singing. Words. Yeah, it drives me crazy. Like everyone's like, tells me like, oh my God, you're going to love Hamilton. Cause like, I like history and I like America. I like the stories. Like everyone like, oh, Hamilton's on Disney Plus now. You should watch it. I turn it on within 10 minutes. I'm like, fuck this. But I'm sure it's good. You have to be in the mindset for every single person to sing dialogue.
Yeah, every single person.
Yeah, dude. But yeah, dude, bombing and failing in business, that's things that people can relate on between business and comedians.
Yeah, dude.
I feel like so like, all right, so like what about like the business of a comedian? Like, you know, making money on it. Because I feel like one thing that might be like if you're too business-like, that's not funny. You know, it's kind of like when Jonah Hill got skinny.
Yeah.
It's like not as funny. Like, is that like a problem you have to deal with at all? Or just like, what? So like, so if you're like maybe YouTube revenue, and then obviously if you tour, people buy tickets. And then, like, are you fucking rich or what?
No, I'm extremely poor. I'm so poor it's embarrassing. But the thing
See,
is,
that's funny.
It is.
Yeah, it's funny to be. It's funny as fuck to be poor.
It's funny and it hurts a little bit, but it's funny. And it's like YouTube doesn't pay shit for revenue.
I would know.
It's all about the algorithms, right? And how often people are seeing your videos. So Facebook pays like 2 or 3 times better than YouTube. Yeah.
Really?
I don't know why. I don't know the mechanisms of it. But the money I was making pre-pandemic was mainly from college touring, because you make good money playing colleges. Because
it makes sense. People buy tickets.
Well, for colleges in particular, the universities have a budget set aside for entertainment, and it's a decent budget. So like if you have TV credits, which I do not, but if you have TV credits, you're making a couple grand a show at least.
Interesting.
And that's one show. That's like a day flying out there and a day flying back, right? So it's very competitive though. So you can't just book like 100 schools and be making 6 figures like that, right? It's really competitive. And colleges have different stuff that they're looking for these days too. Like they want diversity. They want different voices on their campus. So it's really competitive. But that was the main way. And then once you hit a certain level, you start selling merch. Like my buddy Stevie Emerson does really well with merch. And then what was the other way? Touring a little bit.
So the revenue streams are touring, merch, ad revenue, and then like I guess if you ever make like a movie or something, that's another one.
Yeah, touring, merch, ad revenue. But you really like the first couple of years, you got to still have a day job. I had a day job until about 1.5 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, and so it's just weird, like trying to find ways to make money when you're doing comedy, because there aren't really any. Because like you're running around.
What was your day job?
I was a PA. I was a production assistant on like commercials and music videos.
That's cool, because then you get a little into the industry a little bit.
Yeah, and I got to watch like big people in their element, you know what I mean, on commercial sets or film shoots. Cool. And that was really cool. And it also gave me the opportunity to still perform at night when I wanted to go out. And before PAing, I was at the Cheesecake Factory, dude. So it's like everybody has those like really crappy jobs.
That's a hard ass menu to memorize, probably, or like no.
Yeah. The thing's like a Bible, dude.
Dude, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's like a Bible. So touring, and that's also why I was bummed that this tour for me got postponed.
It hurt you on the bottom line.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
Yeah, I was bummed about that. But you know, as the audience grows, more opportunities come to make money. And also, if you're in it, and as far as comedy goes, if you're in comedy to make money, you're in the wrong business, dude. You know what I mean? Like, I will be poor as long as it takes. I would rather be broke and be able to make millions of people laugh than have millions of dollars and like not be good at what I do.
And that I feel like that's what it takes. Absolutely. Yeah. Right. Because you have to love it, because it's kind of like, podcasting too. Like I've never made a penny, and fortunately I have my own business. So like, that's where my money comes from. So I don't have to worry about like money with this. Like I'm just doing it for fun, and I enjoy it. But yes, it's a similar concept. Like, and if you're trying to make it be your full-time thing, it seems like a hard thing to do. Like, are there a lot of, like, what would be like some advice you might give to someone who's just trying to start in comedy? Like,
don't. Maybe don't. Maybe also don't do it. Maybe also don't. No, don't. The only advice is just don't think about money. Just think about how much you love it.
Yeah.
Because if you don't love it, you can't do it.
Do you think comedy is like a natural born talent?
I don't know.
I think it is.
Yeah, I guess. Everybody has like something in life that they lean a little bit toward.
Were you like the class clown in school and stuff?
Kind of. I had friends that were funnier than me though. I still to this day I got buddies that can make our whole group laugh. And it's but it's like it's different when you're actively trying to create a product that makes people laugh, right?
Yeah. So it's really hard.
Yeah, that came to me because I was just a diehard SNL fan when I was a kid. My mom was raising me on Chris Farley movies, right?
Really?
Yeah, and so it was always there. And I even watched stand up when I was in high school, and I never thought about doing it. And then in college, I started shooting like short little dumb videos, and I was like, oh, this is fun. Maybe I should do this more. And then I moved to LA, and I went to a couple open mics, and I was like, oh, maybe I could do this. I might as well try. So it was always like these incremental steps of doing a little bit more without consciously thinking, I'm going to do this. This is what I want. This is my 10-year plan. It just kind of evolves naturally. And everybody has their own like way of doing it. Maybe some people do come into it with that 10-year, this is my comedy plan. I don't know anybody like that, but maybe there's people out there. But it just kind of happens naturally. And I think for anybody with their like craft, whether that craft is like business or, you know, fucking cooking or sports, it evolves naturally. Because if you think too far ahead, then you're outpacing yourself and it's not going to work out. So I think being in the moment was really important for me when I was starting, as I continued to try to figure it out. And I still am trying to figure it out. I have no fucking idea what I'm doing, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like that's cool because that's funny. And like, if you did have like a very specific plan, like that's not like, it's not fun. That's, like that's too much. That's not funny. And like,
no, you want to be out there eating shit and like dying and crying in your car because no one laughed at your dick joke. That's what I went through.
I agree with that. Yeah. What about like editing? You edit your own videos?
I do. And
is that a skill? Because that's a skill. Like,
yes.
When I started the podcast, I got my man Brandon here. He does like a lot of the technical work and the editing work. Like, I could, with my own schedule, I couldn't do. I suck at editing stuff. Like, it's hard for me, and I couldn't have done this unless I had someone. Like, but you edit your own videos.
I do. That's definitely a skill that you got to learn over time, and it's taken me 10 years of editing my own stuff to get to the point now where editing has become one of my favorite parts of the whole creative process. I love it so much because it's like at a point when you're editing, for me at least, you're still writing, you know, and you're still directing, and you're still piecing together the arc or the flow of whatever it is you're putting out. So, and also I started editing my own stuff again, so I wouldn't have to rely on anybody else. I want to be as self-reliant as possible. And I was paying people like $100 to edit something. And then if it didn't do well, I would be mad at them. Or if I didn't like it, then I would have to like fix their mistakes.
Right.
And now if something sucks, I just look in the mirror and flip myself off because I'm the one who messes up, you know?
And that's better. Yeah. We were watching your mask video before you started. So fucking funny, by the way.
Oh, thanks, dude.
Yeah. We'll link that up. But Brandon was complimenting like the zooming in, like like I never would have noticed that. But he's like a camera guy, so he like noticed like that.
Oh, nice.
That little feature, and
he's got a good eye. Yeah,
he's got a good eye, and he complimented that. And like, dude, so that's a whole nother skill. I mean, it really is. Yeah.
So that the aesthetic of internet videos, I think, has changed over the past couple of years too, to like this handheld, almost documentary style thing, where it's a little bit shaky and there's a lot of snap zooms, and that it works. Yeah, it works like for 90% of the stuff online. If I'm doing something like a music video or like an impression or something that requires a little bit more stability or style, then I won't do that. But it's like the past couple things I've done, it works so well because it keeps you engaged, because it you never know when the next movement is coming. And so it almost plays into like your anxiety a little bit, because it keeps you like, you can't look away because there's nonstop motion. So it just like grabs your attention, you know. But that is a skill.
Do you have someone holding the camera on your sketches?
Yeah, so I have a camera guy. That's the only thing I don't do is hold the camera on myself.
I mean, it's
but that's something that I'll talk to the camera guy about beforehand. Like I want to zoom on this line at this moment. I want to zoom here. I don't want any zooms here. I want you to whip pan or pan over here and there, and that's all part of like the directing process. But it's fun. It's fun to figure out.
It looks
like
fun,
a different
man.
style. Yeah,
this is a dumbass question. I think I know the answer.
Hit me.
But like when you're doing the sketches, you talking to yourself, you film all the ones in the one shirt first, and then film all the ones in the other shirt, so you don't have to change shirts back and forth, right?
Right.
Obviously.
I'll have. Yeah, it's a terrible question, but I'll answer it. So I have no. Sometimes I'll have to I'll go through like all the lines as one guy, then go through all the lines as the other guy. But I improvise a lot.
Okay.
So sometimes I'll just pull some lines out of my ass.
That's funny.
And then I'll be like, oh man, I got to respond to that as the other guy. So then I got to go back and do the other guy. But then I'll improvise another one and I'll be like, ah, shit, now I got to respond to that. And so sometimes it like devolves into this crazy conversation with myself.
And you got to switch shirts maybe a couple of times, but
maybe. Okay. Usually I'm pretty good at just knocking it out one by one. Yeah.
Dude, that sounds so fun, man. Just like filming all those. But
it's fun. My neighbors hate me, but it's fun.
Who's your favorite comedian?
I got a couple. Jim Carrey has always been my guy. I mean, Jim Carrey in the 90s, especially.
Dude, he's so fucking silly.
Dude, his In Living Color characters.
Yeah, see, I hear about that.
Dude,
I never watched that, really.
All his stuff on In Living Color is like, you're like, is this guy made of silly putty?
Yeah.
How's he doing this stuff? Is it even legal to do that with your face? He's just like all over the place. And this was around like the Ace Ventura time. So I always loved him. Chris Farley too. Chris Farley is I mean, that guy, his story is like heartbreaking, but it's also really beautiful because he just always wanted to make people laugh. And he would literally throw himself through a door just to get a laugh. So I love those guys. And also Andy Samberg and the Lonely Island guys were a huge, huge inspiration on me.
I love Andy Samberg, dude. He's so funny.
Yeah, he's awesome.
The movie Pop Star is one of my it's my favorite comedy of all time.
Oh, good.
Favorite comedy of all time by far.
Yeah.
Pop Star. I love all the Seth Rogen movies. I love a lot of comedy movies.
Yeah.
I have a very specific top 5 list. And so, like, Remember the Titans, Rudy, Ray, Pop Star is in my top 5 because I fucking love that movie. I love that movie so much.
It's so underrated.
It's the most underrated movie
I can't believe it didn't just skyrocket. I don't know what happened.
It's so funny. And first of all, I've seen it like probably 20 times. And every time I'm like, oh shit, I forgot about this. It's just like slam. And there's so many celebrities in it.
Yeah.
And it's so ridiculous. And it's like, it's just perfect. I love that movie.
Yeah.
I love that movie so much. It's my favorite movie, dude.
It's awesome, dude.
Andy Samberg.
It's so good.
Andy Samberg, like, he should do Pop Star 2.
He should. Dude, that whole role and the story of that was like the most perfect story for them to do. It was all music. It was making fun of pop culture. It was hilarious. It was so good.
I loved it so much, man. I love that movie.
Yeah.
You ever go to like what's the one my dad, Joe Rogan, talks about all the time? He always talks about it's a comedy store.
Oh yeah, the Comedy Store. Yeah.
Like the way that I've never been there. The way that he portrays that, it's like every single night you go there, it's like Chris Rock and Joe Rogan and Dave Chappelle, and it's
They're
like this
murderers, man. They're like assassins, man. Come down to the store. I'll get you in.
By the way, I don't think Joe Rogan is that funny, like on his podcast. Like it's under comedy. It's under comedy, and then he has on like a very serious politician.
Yeah,
like
I think that's because at the beginning he was just having a bunch of comedians on.
Yeah, because those are his friends.
Yeah,
but he's not funny on it. Like he'll make a joke here and there. He's much more like smart and insightful.
He's very smart. Yeah. And the Comedy Store is fun. I've been there a couple times. I'm not like a regular there, but it is like the place to be, kind of, in Hollywood.
The place to be.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how it works, but they talk about like the slots in the lineup. Like, like could you ever get on that? Like, is it really like that every night?
Yeah.
There's like heavy ass hitters.
Yes. Yeah. 100%. It does have the most ridiculous lineup in the world, like on a nightly basis. And it takes a long time to work in there. So like there are people that work the door, like just taking tickets and selling tickets. And those guys are comics that are around my level, or some a little bit higher, some a little bit lower. And it takes like years to work in from that entry level spot in order to just get seen by the owner and the booker. And then if they pass you, if you get like passed, then you start to get these spots, the late night spots. So like the 1 a.m. spot, the 1:30 a.m. spot.
That's a good spot or a bad spot? Like that's
it's the last spot on the lineup. So you're performing for like the last 4 or 5 people that are hammered drunk waiting for their Uber outside, right?
Okay.
But everybody kind of has to work in from that spot. And then over time, as you get better and you get more credits and you get more just like notoriety, you start to move to the midnight spot, then the 11:30 spot. And you know, the hitters come in around like 9:30, 10. That's where Joe Rogan, that's where Dave Chappelle pops in, Sebastian, Theo Vaughn, all those guys, they come in that prime spot. So it's not like I'm not going to walk into the store and take that spot anytime soon. You know what I mean?
But you could if you're huge enough. Like those comedians who are working at the door and they aspire to get the prime spots at the Comedy Store and they're striving for it. Do they have fucking YouTube channels?
A lot of them don't.
Well, that seems dumb to me.
Yeah, but a lot of people, it's like a different avenue, right? So a lot of people will go to the Comedy Store and try to work their way in and focus a ton of time and energy on building relationships with people at that club.
Okay.
Almost instead of spending time and energy building relationships with people online and putting out content online. And it's a different, there's different goals, right?
Different strategies.
Different strategies, but also different goals, right? Because some people who do that, their goal is to have their name written on the Comedy Store wall, just like all the other people. And they want to perform at the Comedy Store nightly. And they don't give a fuck about making YouTube videos. They look down on YouTube videos. It's just some people. This not all, but some. They're like, why the fuck would I make a YouTube video? That's so stupid. I'm not a fucking YouTuber. I speak my truth on stage every night, So that's a mentality that exists for some people. And that's totally fine. Do it. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to challenge you. I'm not going to spend hours and hours hanging out on the patio just for the hopes of getting up one night. But some people do. And it's just a different way of like working into that world.
All right. That's interesting. Yeah. That's very interesting. The different avenues you can take.
It's like a hierarchy. Because like you could someone like Chappelle will fly in from Ohio and just walk in and walk straight.
He gets a spot.
He's a god, right?
Yeah,
or like Chris Rock will do that. But you don't really have the ability to do that until you're a huge name like that.
So maybe you can just skip that whole door shit, the whole late night shit, become a star on YouTube, maybe star in a movie, and then you get that spot.
That's a possibility. I'm working in at the Improv, the Hollywood Improv right now.
Okay.
That's actually my personal favorite club.
I've heard of it
in LA. Yeah. So I'll go there when it was open. I was there like once or twice a week, hanging out, doing the late night spots at the Improv. So I was at that place where I was doing the 1 a.m., 12:30 a.m. spots.
Big guys go there too, right?
Oh yeah, all the time. Yeah. Chappelle pops in. They pop into both. The Comedy Store has a little bit more prestige, I guess, because of its history. But the Improv is my favorite stage in the country. So, but yeah, I was starting to work my way in there a little bit, and I don't have to be a door guy at the Improv in order to get stage time.
I don't know the industry, but
yeah,
my perspective would be like, I think you can skip that step, but what the fuck do I know? But one I was always interested about stand-up comedy. Like I know it's like a culture, and like people always talk about so cool. You hang out with what's it called, the green room or whatever.
Yeah.
That's like what, backstage.
Yeah, it's like the side room that only the performers can go in.
Okay, like in general, stand-up comedy, like what percentage are like drunk? Like. I always wondered that. Like, I always wondered like how fucked up people are or not, or if that matters or it doesn't matter, or like some people. I don't know. When Joe Rogan goes on at the Comedy Store, is he fucked up? Is he high? Like what? Like how much does that matter, or does it?
That is probably one of the biggest variables in comedy. Like it varies so much on a person to person basis. Like I party. I like partying. I'll go out, I'll drink, I'll have a good time. I have never had a sip of alcohol before getting on stage in my life. Yeah.
Really?
So there are other people who can't get on stage without a drink or 2 drinks or 3 drinks. And there are other people that bring drinks onto the stage. Yeah. And there's other people that smoke. I mean, Chappelle smokes cigarettes. He's on a nicotine high the whole time he's on stage.
I've never filmed a podcast without being blacked out drunk.
Right. Well, I've never done a podcast without being an 8-ball deep through my nose. So I'm having a great time.
Yeah. Yo, but then there's Chris Delia, right? Who, first of all, doesn't drink, which is the reason I brought him into this conversation, which is interesting. Yeah. Just like you, but he's one of my favorite comedians, man. But he's on a
hiatus right now.
Yeah. Were you a fan of him?
Oh yeah. I was a huge fan. I mean, I still am. I'm still. I
still am too. Yeah.
His comedy. Yeah. That whole situation is it's so sensitive. I mean,
yeah, it's so sensitive, but
I don't even know if I should be sharing my opinion on it as a white guy.
We can always cut it out. A white guy, what does that have to do with
it? I don't know. I don't know. Did I already say the wrong thing? What's happening now? There's a knock on my door. I think I'm getting canceled as we speak. Okay.
That's good though, right? Dude, I love Chris D'Elia, man. Like
I do too. But yeah, he doesn't drink. He doesn't smoke. I think it's less now. Like in the 80s, dude, people were doing cocaine in the green room and then going on stage right away. Like Sam Kinison was high all the time, right? Same with Joey Diaz and all those guys that you hear about on these podcasts. But I think it's changed. Like these days, you want to be not straight edge, but you want to be in control of yourself. And you don't want to seem...
For the reason of having a better performance? Or for the reason of like not having being judged by like the people there? Or
Both. Yeah, because in today's industry, like in the 80s, the industry, I think, ran on cocaine pretty much, right? And today's industry, you don't want to seem like the person who is going to be like a wild card, you know? You don't want your brand to be like it. I mean, I don't know, maybe some people do, but I haven't seen anyone like that. I haven't seen anybody that carries themselves as like the crazy guy that just goes on like 20-minute rants because he's high and drunk, and that's just his vibe, right? And there used to be a lot of those people, but today I feel like I see people trying to, I mean, just holding themselves together and like just trying to be a little bit more professional, maybe.
Very interesting.
Because like there are so many social lines that you don't want to cross these days, and it's hard to see like where those lines are.
Yeah, sometimes. I was actually going to ask you about that, about performing at colleges, because Seinfeld, Rogan, like they don't like doing that because of sensitive crowds.
Yeah,
like did you ever get a bunch of like PC college students pissed at you, or like did you think about that in advance and try not on purpose not to do it?
I think I kind of naturally don't piss off PC people just because I don't. I mean, my style has never. I don't dip into race. I don't dip into sexism. I don't dip into
a lot of comedians do.
A lot of comedians do, and that's great.
Because it's like a touchy area, and there's like some comedy in there that you can try to dip out.
You know, some of my favorite stuff is like really dark shit. Like Anthony Jeselnik is one of my favorite comics of all time.
I'm a nice guy. Like I just love like shocking, like
same.
Like it's funny. It's just funny.
Yeah, it's hilarious, and I think it's so funny because I don't do that like at all. Like I'm talking about relationship stuff, health, growing up, getting older, partying, but I never really have dipped a toe into like taboo subjects, and I think that's just like a natural thing.
I was gonna say, is that a strategy or is that natural?
No,
natural.
No. I've tried. I mean, I used to have a joke about like gay relationships.
Okay.
But it wasn't very good. It was like the first year I was doing stand up, and then I had another joke where I didn't say the N-word, but I like hinted at it because I thought it would be funny. And this was again during my first year of stand up.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really funny, and it made me feel weird. So
I guess it matters if it's funny, I guess.
It matters if it's funny. And obviously I was trying to be funny, but I just never leaned toward anything super taboo. So that's just me naturally.
Yeah.
But I love that people do that shit, and it's my favorite
Yeah,
stuff.
like Anthony Jeselnik. Like Anthony Jeselnik. Like, how's he get away with that shit? It's just because it's baked into
commits.
like, it's like baked into his brand, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
it's just funny that some things that people get canceled for and the things people don't get canceled for because,
Right.
like, what this person said was way worse, but like, they're comedians. It's
Right,
funny.
right.
It's like, and I mean, I guess that if you can pull it off, it's funny. But if you don't and you get canceled, like, I don't know, like Louis C.K. I think that he's beating off in front of girls, like, you know the story, like, that's very on brand for his comedy. You know what I'm saying?
It is. He had jokes about it.
Like, I almost thought that, like, him getting canceled was part of his strategy because he was one of those guys that was, like, always made fun of himself, very self-deprecating, and then he was getting pretty fucking rich and famous. So I was thinking, here's my conspiracy theory. He purposely made the story leak so that he would have new material to be like, oh, look at me, like I'm a nobody again. And like, and the thing that it happened, it wasn't the worst thing in the world. It wasn't like he raped a bunch of people. Like it's bad, obviously, but it was on brand on the thing he always talks about. So I don't know. That's my conspiracy theory is that he did it on purpose to rejuvenate.
That's interesting, dude. He put himself back to square one
on purpose. Yeah, I think maybe because, like, you know, if you're like I said, Jonah Hill getting skinny. If you're so rich and famous, you can become less funny. And his thing was always like, I'm a piece of shit.
I'm a piece of shit.
So like this puts him right back there, and I don't know.
That's true.
Like,
if he didn't do it on purpose, he's definitely not too upset that he gets to build back up, I guess.
Yeah, man. And I'm gonna bring him up again. Like Chris Delia. Like I think it's interesting. I think it's interesting that he hasn't posted or tweeted or posted anything since this incident came out. It almost makes him look guilty. Like,
well, you know what I think it is? He released a short statement super quick when it all first started, right?
Saw that. Saying
like none of my relationships were with girls under 18 and they were all consensual.
Right.
And now, did you know he has a baby?
I do. Like he didn't tell anyone that he was gonna have a baby. Then all of a sudden one day he was like, "Oh, by the way, I got a kid."
I got a baby.
I did know that, but I don't know who the mom is. I don't know anything about that kid.
Yeah.
But yes, I know he has a baby.
I think what he's doing is actually really smart. I think he's not saying anything because he's probably building a legal attack.
Does he have legal stuff pending against him?
No, but I think he could make legal stuff happen against some of the accusers because
like an ultimate counterpunch.
Well, here's I'll just give one example because I haven't read through all of it, but here's one example. One of the original girls, Simone something.
Yeah.
She tweeted originally, "I can't believe he was cast as a pedophile when that's what he is in real life." Something like that. And then she shared a screenshot of a DM conversation with her and Chris. What she shared was him DMing her some like silly flirty stuff, like want to hang out, want to kiss, we should kiss or whatever. And then she said, "Chris, I'm 16. That's what she shared, right? And then Chris's team shared the full conversation. And the full conversation was Chris sending flirty shit, want to hang out, want to kiss. And then her saying, "Chris, I'm 16. And then Chris saying, "Oh my God, that's too young. I'm sorry. I saw you at my show and my show is supposed to be people who are 18 and up. Bye." And then 5 years later, she DM'd him, "Hey, I'm 21 now and I'm down to fuck." That's the full conversation. So
what's wrong with that?
Yeah, so her like original tweet, I don't know legal shit, right? Because I'm an idiot.
I've heard you say in your podcast you're a dumb or something.
I'm a dumb dude. I'm a dumb idiot. But I don't know, defamation, slander. I don't know. There's and then she like encouraged so many other women to do similar things and call them out for being like kind of a dick online. There might have been some that were worse. That were worse allegations. I never saw anything that was like physical harm.
Right.
It all seemed
it didn't seem like anything turned out in the physical world. It seemed like it was all through messaging.
Yeah, and it definitely, I don't condone what he said or how he said
it. Obviously, like, yeah.
But I don't think his career should be over because of it.
I don't either.
And so I'm just curious if he's staying silent because he's like building some type of
very
legal defense.
I thought it was very interesting how all his buddies reacted. They were kind of like,
yep.
I don't know, damn thing. I don't know. Like there was a little bit of a weird vibe line through it.
Yeah.
And I feel like I know those guys because you listen to them for like 2 hours on a podcast, like Brian Callen. Like, you know these guys, like, and they're good. They're not pedophiles.
Right.
Right? Like, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, and maybe they're just putting off a facade. I obviously don't know them personally. I just have listened to their public content. Yeah. But it seems like they're smart, great guys, and you don't think they're not pedophiles. Like, they all got a little defensive. I don't know if it's legal. They got defensive
because that's the world we live in, dude. If you don't say something right away, you're going down the shitter with them. You know, it's like there's this weird pressure to like immediately respond without having all the information, and I think they got caught in that, and I think they regret it. I definitely think they regret it.
You think they regret it?
Yeah, 100%.
Really? Because like Brendan Schwab was like crying.
Yeah, I think what they should have done is just said, "Hey guys, we don't have all the information. We're not going to support canceling somebody, especially a friend, right away. So we'll talk to you when we have all the information."
Dude, like, I like. Obviously, I don't want. Chris Lee is so funny. I would love to hear his opinion on all this. Like,
I know.
You know what I'm saying,
dude?
Like,
this is the type of
his
thing.
Opinion on it.
Oh, this is the type of thing he would destroy in a
podcast. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, he could be so like. I once in a while check his Twitter, like, and just did he say anything yet? Because it's just interesting. It's interesting, and it's just and then to bring it full circle, he doesn't even drink.
Right.
So like, it's not like he was fucked up and made some bad decision. Like, he's not an idiot. So it's just very interesting. But yeah, man, that's the big time. That's the big time stars. Like, dude, imagine one day we're talking about your sex scandal. That's when you made it. That's when you made it. Yeah,
when you have a sex scandal.
Oh man, dude. But I was just like, all right, so comedy in general, right? Like, I was just thinking about Pop Star again because I was thinking how funny it was. Like, what's your favorite like comedy movie? Like, do you love like, because there's different kinds of humor, like stand up, the sketch comedy, and like there's movies. Like, are you a huge movie junkie or not really?
Yeah. Dude, like, during the pandemic, especially, I'm watching like 5 movies a week. It's absurd. So many movies.
All right, you can't take Pop Star from me because I'm claiming that.
No,
what's your favorite comedies?
My like lifetime favorite movie will always be Superbad.
Superbad, dude. Yeah, Brandon just freaked out back there. You like Superbad,
dude? Brandon, dude, Superbad raised me more than my own father. Okay, that movie, I still, it's the movie that I can watch whether it's at the beginning, middle, or end. If it's on TV, I'll watch the rest of it. Doesn't matter.
What's your favorite part?
God, so many.
I like when he draws all those dicks.
When he's the dick stuff is so funny. At the party when the guy is like, he's just like, "Come on, you know me, come on, do it," and then they beat his ass because he's got the period blood on his leg. Oh, what he says, dude! The line when he says, "Look at us, we're blood brothers."
Oh man, that movie just like taps into like, I can relate. Yeah. I was trying to get beer when I was like 18.
Yeah, man, that's the thing.
Nothing really happened in that movie. Like, it wasn't that eventful.
No, but it was so funny. It was so real. So I love that. I also, growing up, Super Troopers was like a huge.
Yeah, I don't know that as well.
For me and my friends,
I don't know that movie as well.
Very silly.
I was listening to some of your shit this morning, and I heard you talking about Ben Stiller.
Dude, yeah. I love Ben Stiller.
Dude, I mean, I think like a lot of people love Ben Stiller. But want to know my favorite Ben Stiller movie?
Yeah.
It's again, I think, an underrated one. But it's The Heartbreak Kid.
Ooh.
Dude, that movie
I saw that a long time ago.
It's fucking hilarious. So he like marries this girl, and she's like the perfect girl. She's beautiful. And like they get married right away on a whim. And then like right around the day of the wedding, like everything starts to go wrong. Like the lady he's married, mom comes up and she's like fat and she's like, oh, that's the wedding dress I wore on my wedding day. And then like, it's just, I don't know. It's one of those movies. It's not like that popular at all, but it's one of those things where just like, everything goes wrong. Kind of like something about Mary. Sometimes those movies are frustrating when every single thing goes wrong.
Ben Stiller, he always plays like the lovable idiot.
Yeah.
It's really funny. But yeah, I love him because he directs a lot of stuff too. He directed the Walter Mitty movie, which wasn't like great, but it was directed really well. Escape at Dannemora. Have you seen that show?
Never even heard of that.
It's a mini series. I think it's on, I don't know, Amazon or HBO or something.
Okay. Is it newer?
Yeah, about a year ago it came out.
Okay.
It's about this real life prison break that happened. This is drama.
Ooh.
It's super dramatic.
Love prison breaks.
Dude, it's a great show. It's like 7 episodes. Ben Stiller directed it. It's phenomenal. It's
is he in it at all?
No, he just directed it.
See, I'm not at like the level enough where like I could appreciate the directing of him. Like I want him to be in it if it's a Ben Stiller thing.
Oh, sure,
like,
sure.
There was that movie mid-90s, and it was
so good.
I love the movie, but I was disappointed the first time I saw it because every commercial I saw for it was like Jonah Hill, and I'm like where? I'm halfway in the movie. I'm like, where the fuck is Jonah Hill? Like I'm like, where the fuck is he, dude? Like I can't imagine what character he's gonna play in this. Like, and then there's like 10 minutes left. I'm like, he's not coming, is he?
Dude, that's so disappointing.
So disappointing, dude. But great movie. When I watched it again, I was like, it's a good movie, but it's all about how your expectations are set up for it.
Right.
But I don't know, man. So like, all right. So outside of comedy, like, who's your favorite person of all time? Like your role model? Like, for example, mine's Jeffrey Epstein.
Of course, because he owns an island.
That was a planned joke. I was just kidding. But maybe that was not the right time to hit that. But your mom, that's cute, man.
Yeah.
Where are you from? Like where were you born and raised?
Davis, California, by Sacramento.
California. By Sacramento. Yeah, California is such a big fucking state.
Dude, California is like, it has literally every part of the world in it. It's got forests, beach, mountains, lakes, rivers, fucking country, farm, desert. I love it because of that. It's like you can drive through the whole state of California and feel like you just traveled through the world.
Yeah.
You know?
Dude, there was that conversation a little while ago that was like California succeed. And I was like, no, dude.
Oh, secede, yeah.
I was like, California? No, we need California. It's an amazing state. Like
I know. It's got like the 5th largest economy in the world,
dude,
right?
California is the best state, dude. And I was joking about the pretentious LA thing earlier. They definitely have like they're like liberal, and a lot of people from the Midwest might be like, oh, fucking California.
Right.
Fuck but dude, California is awesome.
Yeah, a lot of people in California do think that they're better than everybody else, but I think that's just because we are better than everybody else. So.
Tough to argue that.
Yeah, it's the thing.
Yeah, I always make fun of myself because like I'm from Philly. I'm an East Coast guy. I grew up in New York and Philly. Cool. New York State, but I live in Charleston now, and I moved here because it's like beautiful weather. It's a great town. It's like, but I'm always like, yeah, I'm a Southerner now. Like, and I'm always like,
does it feel Southern there? Does it feel like
not really like Charleston? Like if you look at like a voting map, a political map, like South Carolina is very red, but there's like this big blue circle like in Charleston, because like I feel like every big city is like more blue or Democrat or whatever. I feel like it's just because they need the police, because like. If you're in the middle of the country, in the middle of nowhere, and you need the police, it's going to take them like 45 minutes to get there.
Right.
So like they're like, I don't need the damn police. It's like, yeah, well, if we're in a city with stacked in apartments like sardines, like we need that shit. I don't know, but no, Charleston, I don't get that vibe at all. That it's like everyone's like, oh, how many Confederate flags do you see? I'm like, I don't know, I saw like 2 last year maybe or whatever. But oh yeah. Is
it more like is it like kind of hipster out there? Is it turning into like? What do you think? Does it have does it have like sour beer?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's kind of hipstery. Yeah. Okay. It's like trendy and like. But here's the thing though. Like the actual city government of Charleston specifically, the one thing that they're really good at is historic preservation. So you can't build taller than this one fucking church. So they keep all like the old, like there's like this like horse and carriage thing, which is like a really cool tour. A lot of people are like. Don't like that because they're like, you're treating these horses like shit. So like if you do the horse carriage, the first thing they do is they take the first 10 minutes of the tour to explain these horses can carry 20 times as much weight as this. We give them a rotation. We make sure they get their water. And then like once every 10 years, like a horse will collapse and people like freak out. But they do try to, they do try to preserve the historical element of it. And they have all the old houses where slaves used to live, but they're called, what do they call them now? They call them something else. They call them like outhouses or something, but they're still there. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's history, man. It's fucking history.
Yeah.
Like, They used to have slaves in Charleston, big time. And then Charleston was the one city specifically that started the Civil War, basically. Like they revolted. Whoa. They revolted first.
Really?
Yeah, like the whole energy from the entire Confederacy started from Charleston. And they're very radical and like, and I mean, yes, there was the slave trade was part of it, but like it was also like, fuck those Yankees and shit like that, and like that's part of the history. Yeah. And I swear that that's had a reflection on the culture of Charleston, because I think now Charleston is very less rowdy than like, dude, I'm from Philly. Like Philly is the most rowdy fucking place. When the
super rowdy.
When the Phillies won the World Series in 2008, like we flipped cars on our college campus. Like it was fucking insane, dude. Philly's the rowdiest place. Like you go to the outside of the bars at 2 a.m. It's insane. Now in Charleston, now that I'm in Charleston, around 2 a.m. outside of the bars, there's definitely a lot of nightlife, but like it's everyone's more chill and like there's not as much. And I feel like part of that is because like, yo, remember that like 100 years ago when we were the most radical, like that did not work out well for us.
When we started a war.
Yeah. Yo, there's pictures of Charleston, 1865 or whatever, and it looks like Afghanistan. Like it got crushed, dude. It got crushed. It got crumbled into the ground because like that's how you win a war. You crumble the main city or whatever. And it got beat the fuck up. Yeah. Holy shit. Charleston's great. Charleston's a great city. Cool. I've never been out to like the middle of South Carolina, but I don't know, man. I just feel like everyone, I love our country, man. And I feel like everyone gets along more than they make it seem like, you know.
For sure. You know, for sure. The divisiveness is like 90% media. That's people why agree on more shit than they disagree on, for sure.
Yeah, I think my next thing is like I'm a one issue voter, and all I care about is just unifying the fucking country, which might be boring.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. That's why maybe I want like Kanye West for president.
Dude, I don't know. Maybe, dude.
Like obviously, that's fucking insane. I don't know. I love Kanye West, but he'd probably be a terrible president.
He would for sure be bad, but we've had some bad ones.
Yeah,
we've had some bad ones. I don't know if he would be the worst. I don't know.
I think he could be unifying.
I think he could be.
And then like we're all unified, and then like the economy goes down, we get nuked, like because he's just
right.
Dude, did you ever see him go on like Ellen or like he's kind of like a genius that's like an idiot when he talks.
Yeah.
But I love
him. I feel like he tries to speak in poems all the time, like whenever he talks. He like tried. I don't know. It's weird.
I feel like if he were a stand-up comic, I feel like he would bomb every single night.
Yeah, for sure.
But then he would keep going and think he deserves like the best
slot. Then he would get angry at the audience.
Yeah,
and he would just start yelling. Dude, I saw Kanye West in concert like 5 years ago, and he spent 10 minutes like rearranging the audience. He was like, all right, I need y'all to get into a circle. Get into a circle. Now make a bigger circle. And y'all on the right side, make a circle too. And then I want one big ass circle in the middle. And make sure y'all circles are separate from each other. Y'all, so I need a circle there. I need a circle. Dude, he went for 10 minutes trying to create shapes, dude.
Why? No one knows?
No one knows. I was like, is he making like crop circles to send up to aliens? What? So that they can have a place to land? What the fuck is this guy doing?
I think one of the reasons I love him is because you don't know what you're gonna fucking get. And like I kind of like that being on the edge of your seat is one of the reasons he's entertaining. And but like he should not be in charge of like a fiscal policy or whatever.
No
It'd be
way.
Like,
dude.
remember your president thing, your impressions thing, hilarious. And I heard you say your favorite one was Marshmallow. For people who listen and who don't know, you did a impression skit about you did Eminem, Jack Harlow. Dude, you did like a bunch of them. The first time I
did
watched
a lot.
it.
Yeah, there was a lot.
Yeah. And Marshmallow was like, yeah. And then in the middle, he did this very smart, like well thought out, like political speech. That was hilarious. I feel like Kanye would be the opposite of that. Like,
Thanks, man. Yeah, no, Kanye would just be speaking in gibberish the entire time.
yeah, dude. But,
and saying like, bring people together and we'll have Sunday service. Sunday service every day.
And the guy that has to like write the policy is like, wait, so what do I write?
Right, right.
What's your favorite like 2020 story so far? It's been a crazy fucking year. Yo, remember Kobe Bryant died?
Yeah.
Dude, that'd be the biggest story of like any year.
That kicked off the year in the worst possible way.
Dude,
for sure.
I still think about that. Like I used to think about it like once a week. Now I probably think about it like once, like every 2 weeks. Like, dude,
yeah, I'm still every day.
Every day? Well, you're not lying, but
well, I semi like knew him.
What? All right, tell me about that.
Yeah, I coached at his basketball camp for 6 years.
What?
Because I played in college. I played at UC.
Really? You're a baller?
Yeah.
I played basketball. I played basketball in high school.
Oh no way! Do you still play?
Dude, I don't. I should. I don't know,
You
like some men's league or something. I don't know. But
well, I played at UC Santa Cruz, and then I transferred to Santa Barbara, and I was going to play there, but I got injured.
How tall are you?
6'1".
Okay.
Yeah,
What position? Okay.
Point. And I started coaching at his camp because he did a camp at UC Santa Barbara during the summers. And so I got in as an intern, and then I coached for like 5 years in a row. And it was a week-long camp, and I had like a team of 12 kids. They were all 10 years old. And there were 700 kids at the camp. It was like a huge thing.
That's huge.
Yeah, and he was there every day. He would come through and he would walk around and he would talk to the coaches. We would talk to him about our kids and like what we're teaching them. And we would always take pictures with him, and he would sign autographs and all that. And I told him I did comedy, and he was like, oh yeah, I got to come check you out sometime. And Vanessa would come with the kids. Dude. And yeah, so I mean, I don't know when that'll ever feel like normal. And also, like, I've never like experienced like a sudden death of a friend or family member, so I was fully unprepared as to how to handle that, even though I had like a microcosm of a relationship with him. But it still like was super hard, you know?
Dude, like,
yeah.
Oh God. It's like, it's such like, he was turning into like such an amazing, it's like, he's such a good guy. He's just an amazing person. Like coaching his girls' basketball camp, like doing a camp with 700 kids. Like,
yeah, dude. And the stuff he was working for was like unreal. If there's anybody the world, you know, needs right now is fucking Kobe Bryant, dude. The stuff he was doing was like arguing for higher pay for the WNBA, you know, coaching all girls team.
He's someone that everyone can relate to. Like, my political stance, I'm a centrist. I want everyone to be happy. And like, he's someone who like people can relate to because he's like an intense fucking competitor, but he also is like a heart of gold. He's like the perfect like American person.
Right.
And he has so much more to do.
So much more. He always said
God,
too.
I got like shivers, man. Like, sucks.
Yeah. Dude. He always said he wanted to be known for what he did after retiring more than what he did on the court. And he was well on his way, dude. He won a fucking Oscar.
Dude, he did win an Oscar. I don't know.
He won an Oscar.
He did like what, like a little 5-minute like what was it, like a cartoon or something?
It was a hand sketched illustration that portrayed his retirement letter.
All right.
And I can't watch it without bawling.
Was there anyone else in his category?
Yeah, it was. I mean, nobody that could hold a candle. Yeah.
Like he fucking, and it didn't take him long at all to win an Oscar. Like, oh, dude.
No, yeah.
But Kobe, R.I.P. Like, what a fucking legend. But yeah, dude. I mean, let's not end on that note. Let's do something more positive. Like, so I was saying, besides that, 2020. Like, it seems
favorite
like
stories. Yeah, dude. So much shit has happened this year, bro.
It's like that's kind of what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Every week, it's like some insane. Dude, we had the virus, right? We had the virus, and then we had Tiger King, okay? And then we had murder hornets, okay? And then we had the Pentagon releasing UFO footage, dude.
I forgot about that.
No one's talking about it.
I forgot
No
about
one's
that.
talking about, dude. No one's talking about the aliens, dude. No one's talking about it, dude. Where are they at?
The only thing I ever saw about that was like, why is no one talking about this? And I forgot
Bro,
about it.
It is absurd that nobody's talking about that shit. It is insane to me how that is not front page news every single day. But then, of course, after they literally confirmed UFOs that are not made on Earth, okay? Because that's what they said. Nobody on Earth has the ability to do this. We don't know where this is from. And people were like, oh, okay, but what about the fucking murder hornets? and then the police brutality and the protests, and now we got the bubonic plague. Did you hear about that?
And like a rat or something like that.
Dude, a marmot, dude. Doctors are telling people not to eat marmot meat in Mongolia.
What's a marmot?
It's like a little weasel. I don't know. So it's like all these things. My personal favorite was Tiger King. I mean, that was like, I watched that show, jaw dropped, eyes wide open the entire time. I could not believe that shit was real, dude. To me, that is the most insane thing I've ever seen or heard of in my entire life.
That guy wanted to be famous so bad.
So bad.
And now he is fucking famous.
He's so famous.
And he's locked in jail.
Yeah.
That sucks.
They're gonna make a movie about him for sure. He'll have his movie.
Didn't they release who's gonna be the actor?
They said Nicolas Cage.
Oh, dude, that would be pretty good, dude.
People hate on Nicolas Cage.
He's a nut job. He's like
nuts, dude.
Yeah, I love Nicolas Cage.
Yeah,
like,
I think he would kill that shit.
He would do a good job at that.
Yeah, 100%.
Is that official?
I don't know if it's official or if his name was like top of somebody's list. I mean, they don't even have a script. They don't have anything yet. I think it might have just been like, this is who like the industry says should be the guy.
Dude, that movie will be awesome.
He would murder that.
Whoa.
Whoa. Dude, you know what the funny thing is about the Rogan thing? I said this on my podcast too, but I want to tell you because we're talking about comedy and people's reactions and shit. After that came out, I did not expect that impression to go viral at all. I made it because I was bored and I was trying to work on like a new impression because I just wanted to challenge myself.
I like the wig or like the hair.
Oh, the ball cap.
So funny, dude.
I was like, let me try to play a character that doesn't just yell and take his shirt off. Because those are like all my characters are just yelling.
Okay.
And so I did. I had messed around with Rogan like a couple months prior, so I just did it, and I was like, oh, this is fun. I think maybe my audience will like it. And then it exploded. And dude, I have not gotten more like more negative comments on anything I've done than that video. And it's still like I'm shooting like 98% from the field on positive.
On that one specifically?
On the Joe Rogan impression video, 98% of the comments are positive. It's like 1 out of like 50 is like, dude, you're not gonna make it. Why would you make fun of Rogan? He's a god. You'll never be what he is. Dude, and it's like, dude, I laugh every time. Because how like insecure do you have to be to defend Joe Rogan on a comedy video? And B, every comment boosts the algorithm and makes me money, dude. Yeah.
Dude. I told you literally like 3 different groups of friends, like someone from it all sent me that video before they even knew I was talking to you. And
that's so funny.
Because Joe Rogan's so big and like I've never seen an impression of him before and you nailed it. And
cool.
I'm trying to like stereotype a Joe Rogan fan who would see that and not think it's funny. Like maybe it's like those guys who like those what are they? The celibate guys or the guys who like
the incels? Yeah.
Maybe it's them.
Yeah, it's for sure them.
Like, how can you not think that's funny? Because like you didn't, with impressions in general, like when you do them of people, like, are you really trying to insult them or hurt them or like?
No, dude,
I would say that probably not.
No, to me, an impression is more of an homage. It's more of an homage,
right.
paying homage to people I really look up to. Which is why I'll never do an impression of 6ix9ine, right?
Because you'd actually be like making fun of him.
Yeah, like if I did an impression of 6ix9ine, I would try to tear that motherfucker apart because he's a bad person, like objectively, right? But for people like Rogan, Eminem, who else have I done? Logic. Who's the other one?
Jack Harlow, Marshmallow,
all those guys.
Jimmy Fallon. I love your Jimmy Fallon one. That's
right.
fucking
Thanks,
hilarious,
man.
dude.
Thanks,
Hilarious.
dude. It's just like my favorite part of doing impressions. I had never thought I could do impressions. I still don't think I'm great at them at all. But
Gary V, you did?
Oh, Gary V, right.
So good, dude. So good.
Thanks, man. So
I love that.
My whole goal with that is to just like find the stuff that like humanizes them and play that up as much as I can. Because everybody, like, you look up to celebrities like they're gods, and they're not gods. They get diarrhea once a month, just like the rest of us, you know?
It's a lot of diarrhea.
And so, yeah, it's a lot. That's always been my goal, is to like make fun of people that all the people I make fun of are my favorite people in the world. And I'm inspired by those people. So that's always been the goal, is to just try and make people kind of see them not as a god, but just as a normal person.
I love that, dude.
Laugh out of it,
I love that. And actually, I was just thinking about this. I lied when I said my favorite type of comedy was the sketches that you do, because that's my second favorite. My favorite type of comedy is roasts.
Cool.
Comedy Central roast. There's not one that I haven't seen like 4 or 5 times. There's just something. There's something. I don't know if it's like I'm kind of strong spirited. Like I don't think I have a lot of walls in my head. I love to be criticized, and there's something about that art form of just tearing up your friends and stuff it's my dream in life would be to have a roast of me. That would be my if I had a genie and I had a wish, that would be my dream, because I just love it so much, because it's a huge fucking compliment to have all these people like sit around and think about you.
That's what it is. Yeah, that's another way I look at the impressions that I do. It's a roast, and you only roast the ones you love.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
And so I totally agree, dude. The Comedy Central roasts are insanely funny because it comes from a place of love, and that's where my impressions come from. They all come from a place of love.
Absolutely.
And sure, some weird incel that lives in his stepdad's garage in Oklahoma is going to be like, no, don't make fun of Joe Rogan. But you know what? That guy's going to live a really sad life. So,
yeah. And dude, you said 98, and it helps the algorithm. So you should Joe Rogan wouldn't advise this, but you should like respond to him and like try to get a couple more comments out of him.
Every once in a while I do. Like somebody will be like, dude, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. And I'll respond, I'll be like, yeah, man, I agree. And then they'll say like, well, you should just stop. You should quit comedy because you're not good at it. And I say, yeah, I know. My mom says the same thing, or something like that. You know what I mean? And it's just like, it's like a lose-lose for me, because I can't win. So I might as well not argue, because as soon as, if I ever tried to be defensive and be like, come on, man, it's just a joke, dude. If I ever like tried to take that angle, not only does it make me look like a fucking idiot, but it just opens up a door for anybody else to be like, dude, stop trying to defend your shitty content.
Dude, and we were in the beginning, we were joking about getting canceled, and I was like, that'd be a huge step up for me. Like, it's actually like a compliment to have haters. Like, it really is. If you don't have any haters, like the most famous Hollywood celebrity, they people diss them. Like the president of the United States, always dissed, like no matter which one it is. Like if you're not doing something right if you don't have haters. So it's almost like every time, like I wish I had more hateful comments. I get a few of them, and I just every time I see one, I've trained my gut reaction to be like, yes, dang, it feels like my heart just warmed up. Like
it's a win.
It's a win. It's a win. It's a good thing.
Totally,
dude. It's been fucking awesome.
Dude.
Give like your. What do you want people to go do?
Plug some stuff.
Plug the shit out of yourself.
Yeah, man. Instagram is at Brent Pella, BrentPella. I post all the videos I do on Instagram and YouTube. You type my name into any of them and find my stuff. Facebook too, Brent Pella Comedy. And the podcast, if you want to hear me talk about random stuff and have a guest every once in a while, is the Brent Pella Show. And besides that, dude, come see me live if we can ever do that again, hopefully. But until then,
dude, it'll happen.
Making stuff. Yeah,
it'll happen. It'll happen, dude. It's been probably one of my favorite podcasts that I've had. It's episode 50.
Oh, thanks, man.
Episode 54. Like,
Nice.
I kind of feel a little like I'm Joe Rogan right now, like having a cool, having a cool gas, drinking a beer, like just having fun. And, dude, this has been fucking awesome. And
yeah, man. Thank you for having me, bro. If I'm in Charleston ever, I'm gonna let you know, and let me know if you come out to LA. Come see a show.
I'm good on that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, dude, if you come to Charleston, yeah, just DM me, and then when you leave, I'll text you back. Like, oh man, I miss you.
Sorry, dude.
Yeah, I'm a workaholic, so I'm gonna be busy. But cool. Yeah, dude. But give me fucking juice to beer. Cheers. We're in different time zones.
Cheers, bro.
And dude, I fucking love you, and I appreciate it.
Love
and,
you too, bro.
And you got a huge fan now. You got a huge fan. I'm gonna be your biggest fan and promoting all your shit because I genuinely love it. And now I feel like we're friends. And every time Joe Rogan says
friends.
every time Joe Rogan says he has a friend, I'm always like, is that really his friend, or did they just like have a podcast twice?
right.
Yeah. Like, but yeah, dude.
That's us, dude. We can have that relationship now.
Dude, we're fucking best friends. We're best friends.
100%.
Dude,
100%. We're best friends.
We're best friends, and all right, man. Peace out.
Peace and love, baby.
Hey, thanks for watching the Sean Lowery Show. You are the greatest. Watch some more videos of me right up here.